We've got Alex in California. Alex, do you believe you can build on those concepts and give a better defense of deism? Or you just wanted to, I don't know, what?
Oh, yeah, I felt like I could answer the questions good. Like you were asking, I think his name was Zachary.
That sounds
and
right.
You were asking him questions.
Yep.
And I just felt compelled to call in again because, like one of the questions you asked him was, can you tell the difference between a universe that was designed and a universe that wasn't designed? Is that one of the questions you asked?
Kind of. It was more of give a hypothetical universe where the two universes look the same, but one has a designer and one doesn't. How would you tell which one has the designer? Gotcha. So the individual aspects are the same. Matt and I are still here talking to you, but one of them comes entirely from natural means and one of them doesn't. This is the sort of nature of deism. How would you detect that deistic God?
So you're asking for a methodology, right?
That would be nice.
That could be one of the answers to the question for sure.
That's what I've been working on kind of a hobby of mine, is because I've been also listening to you guys for a long time, and that's always what you guys kind of gravitate towards, is that you want a methodology. And so what I wanted to start talking about was a little bit of John Lennox and how his intelligent design argument, like, I totally disagree with, and I agree with you guys in that how he will say stuff like, well, DNA is perfectly constructed and all the letters are put in the right places, and that couldn't have come about by chance. Like, I'm totally on board with you guys that that's a unreasonable argument, because there could be naturalistic explanations for that are just as weighty as or supernatural. Correct?
I'm confused, Alex. We're asking for a methodology by which deism might be confirmed, and now you're going to tell us how you also disagree with John Lennox. So are we going to just sit here and go through all the things we both disagree on, or are we going to get to the methodology?
So I'm trying to give an opposite of what I'm about to explain.
I don't need an opposite. So I just need, why is this so difficult for people? Why is it so difficult for someone to say, here's what I'm convinced of, and here is the reason I'm convinced and think other people should be convinced, without injecting their life story or beginning to list all of the things that we both already disagree with? Isn't if you and I, if neither one of us accept John Lennox's fine-tuning arguments, doesn't that make it irrelevant to this? Doesn't that make that irrelevant to this discussion?
No, because I'm trying to draw a distinction between a fallacious fine-tuning argument and a non-fallacious fine-tuning argument. And so,
do you think?
Because
no, stop. Is John Lennox's fine-tuning argument only relevant because you want something to point to that you think is wrong?
No, I'm trying to make a symmetry argument. Like to give the opposite, and then give it so that kind of gives a frame of reference. Because we have everything in the universe.
No.
All the events that happen in the universe.
Alex, we're not going to make any fucking progress here. Do you accept John Lennox's fine-tuning argument?
No.
Neither do I. Do you accept the cosmological argument from Jim Bob down the street?
The cosmological argument, you mean like the Kalam cosmological argument? I
the
think,
specific version. No, I'm asking about that. No. Why won't you fucking listen, Alex? I said the specific cosmological argument from my neighbor Jim Bob down the street. Do you accept that one?
No.
Neither do I. So is it relevant?
To the existence of God?
Is it relevant to this fucking discussion about deism?
Yes, because I'm trying to lay down an argument, and
oh my fucking God! I give up. I give up. I don't.
I don't know how.
I'm going to stop talking. You present whatever the fuck you want, and then I will demolish it because this is so stupid. I feel bad trying to have a conversation with people who say that arguments they don't accept are relevant to the ones they're presenting. No, it's fucking not.
Okay, so there are events in reality that would be candidate explanations for evidence of a God. And so the evidence would have to be something that wasn't necessary. For instance, like if I say, oh, there's food outside and I can go grow my food, well, there must be a God that designed me to go to that food. That would be a fallacious argument because it's necessary. Like, so there,
Alex,
it's the
Alex,
anthropic
no,
principle.
stop. Alex, I'm muting you. Listen to me very, very carefully. Whatever nervousness you've got, whatever's going on, just take every thought out of your head, take a deep breath, and listen to me very, very carefully. Of all the people you've spoken to, I can guarantee you, I don't need a lecture or a lesson on what a fallacious argument is. If there's anything that I might have some expertise in, it is identifying fallacious arguments. What I want from you is not a lecture on fallacious arguments. I want a non-fallacious argument for deism. Prove to me how you can reasonably detect that which is by definition undetectable and make an argument that is not fallacious. If you continue to try to lecture about other irrelevant fallacious arguments, I will drop this call like I dropped smoking. Begin.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the expansion of the universe specifically as a candidate for evidence of intentionality to the universe, because we can imagine a universe that doesn't have an expansion, and so that kind of it kind of answers the question that Jimmy was asking, is that we would have two universes. We have one universe that has an expansion and one universe that doesn't, and there's no reason to believe that the universe that doesn't have the expansion wouldn't also support life, but it would support different life. And so the kind of the extraordinary event of the expansion of the universe actually creates a universe in which the intelligence that we are can understand our origins. So there's nothing necessary for us to be able to understand our origins. So therefore, it doesn't fit within the traditional fine-tuning argument like a John Lennox or a Douglas Adams Puddle analogy, because it's not necessary. So therefore, it is a candidate explanation for evidence. I'm not saying it is evidence, but I've been trying to explain the methodology of determining what is even a candidate.
So do you have the examples that are evidence? Because those were bad.
So what you just said is that because we can imagine a universe that isn't expanding, we contrast the universe that we can imagine with the one that we live in. The one that we live in is expanding. The expansion of the universe allows an intelligence like ours to understand our origins, and that this is evidence of an intention to the expanding of the universe. No, it's not, because I can imagine a universe that is expanding with intention, and I can imagine a universe that is expanding without intention, and I can imagine an intelligence in both of those. The mere fact that an intelligence might, in a very narrow band of time, be able to cognitively process the expansion of the universe doesn't in any way demonstrate that this expansion of the universe was intentional to allow that comprehension, any more than my ability to understand fallacious reasoning is the result of a God making me intelligent enough to do so. I didn't need a lecture about John Lennox. I didn't need a lecture about fallacy. What I needed was a methodology that necessarily demonstrates the deistic proposition that is by definition untestable, unverifiable. And what you gave me was an expanding universe signals intent. And my answer to you is no, it fucking doesn't. And I can use the exact same, I can imagine an alternate universe that you did to debunk it.
The intelligence one was also particularly bad because there's the evolution of human intelligence calling it necessary is already suggesting it's planned. Human intelligence evolved the way everything else evolved. The fact that we can assess our own place in the universe is a byproduct of it. It wasn't deliberately selected for.
In addition,
go on.
Oh, I thought that was in.
No.
In addition, a deistic God is one that does not interact in reality in a detectable way. And so a deistic God is one that wants to stay hidden. And so if your case is that an expanding universe points to a God intentionally creating an expanding universe so that the beings can discover that God, now you have a deistic God that wants to be discovered and has done so by creating an expanding universe that results in an intelligence that infers the very creator, when that same being could just provide concrete, incontrovertible evidence of existence. It is boneheadedly stupid to suggest that there's a deistic God that has managed to manipulate things in such a way so that we can know it's there when it doesn't want to be recognized, but somehow is incapable of saying, hi, here I am. You don't have a methodology. You don't have evidence. You don't have an argument that's remotely better than John Lennox's.
So I never said that it was evidence. I said that it was a candidate evidence, because that's what it's all about. That we're having a meta discussion of a methodology of what even constitutes evidence.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I can sniff my own farts at home. I don't need to. I just don't care.
I never said it was evidence. What we're looking for is the methodology, which includes the evidence to support a belief. That's it. Give us your reason. If your reason is a philosophical argument that doesn't in any way tie to evidence, it's useless if it doesn't tie to reality. But in fact, you included evidence, the expanding universe. See, you want to say it's not evidence for, but it's candidate evidence for. No, it's not. It isn't candidate evidence for any more than see, a dead body isn't evidence of who killed it necessarily, and it may not even be candidate evidence of who killed it, because it might not be a who that killed it. The dead body could have been dead from something that wasn't a who.
Yeah.
You're arguing because of an expanding universe, there are intelligent beings that get to see into the origins of the universe a bit. This is evidence or candidate evidence for a creator. No, it's not. It isn't candidate evidence for a creator until you show that that evidence ties exclusively and exhaustively to one candidate explanation. And God doesn't become a candidate explanation until you have the evidence for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jimmy Snow. I'm the executive producer of The Line. And at night, I sneak into Matt Dillahunty's house and I trade his cereals for other cereals. He comes out and he's like, wait, these are cereals I buy, but I swear I had different cereals. Anyway, would you like to support this channel or any specific show? You can do so over on Patreon or in channel memberships. There are special tiers for special shows or for the channel at large, and it helps us expand programming as well as hopefully very soon launch it in podcast form. Now, also, if you'd like to support, you can like, you can subscribe, you can leave a comment or a super thanks, which is a special highlighted comment that you pay for. Those are fun. And, screw the algorithm, go check out something over here, I suppose. Boy, I hope I can still put those icons there, because if I can't, this is going to look really stupid. I'm going to go buy some Cocoa Puffs and switch out Matt's mini wheats now.